Welcome everybody to the reaction sleepover. This is where we get cozy and we react to stuff. A lot of cringy things that we react to. So grab your cozies and snackies and let's get crack-a-lackin'. What are your worst Bridezilla stories? Last thing on a very hot, very busy Saturday on my own, a very glamorous and slender bridal party walk in. Such a funny way to describe them. Bride, mother, plus 3 maids. I know it's bridesmaids, but I just love to picture that the bride just has her 3 maids from her mansion with her. We are here! Dress me, peasants. Have come in to see their bridesmaid dresses, then try on to be altered. They had ordered them about 4 months before. These dresses were the hot thing at the time. Floor-length, crepe-back satin and bias cut in a steely gray. All seemed fine. First bridesmaids come out and I pin the hem and talk them through any additional stuff. The mother is super picky and the bride is very much obsessed with her perfect day. Ooh, possible wench detected. But that's pretty much normal. Last bridesmaid comes out and the hem is lifted over an inch from the ground on her left side, but it is over 2 inches too long for the rest of the hem, so it looks incredibly wonky. Bride nearly breaks down and mother goes basically catatonic. Wedding is ruined, going to sue us to hell, etc. Woman, chill. It is not that deep. This is what the fitting is for. What did you expect? That it was just gonna be perfect immediately? Like, sure, that does happen, but like, calm down. Sheesh, what a train wreck sight. A bride is breaking down, the mother is yelling at the store, the poor store people. They're just doing their job. This is normal. This is normal. Bridesmaid looks rather sheepish. Ugh, I can't say I blame her. What do you even do in that situation? Honestly, go get therapy and leave the wedding. Because these women are nuts. I offered to get them a new dress and promised it would be sorted, but I needed to talk to the owner to get full details, but that it would be resolved within a week. I had a suspicion, so went to the changing room with the bridesmaid to help her out of the dress, and she looked rather upset. I told her again we could sort it and she would look great in the end, but it didn't seem to help, so I asked if everything was okay, or if there is something she wants to tell me. She near bursts into tears and tells me she's so sorry, but she's pregnant. Imagine apologizing for being pregnant. That's so sad. She'd been trying for a while, but the bride had told her she wasn't allowed to get pregnant and ruin her wedding. You are ruining my life and my happiness. That is one of the most selfish things I've ever heard in my life. Imagine getting upset at your friend for being pregnant. You deserve to walk on Legos. She was only 4 weeks. Only 4 weeks? But with the style of dress, it meant the fabric lifted like it did with just the tiniest of bumps. You really have to be a flat-stomached wonder for them not to do weird things. I'm so mad. How can you say you're ruining my wedding when she's been trying for a while? Like, people have complications. For some people, it's hard to get pregnant. And they finally do, and your response is, ew. It's not about you. She was really stressed about not being able to tell anyone till after the wedding, and getting through the hem/bachelorette party with no one realizing she was pregnant and the bride losing it with her. What do you, like, that feels so much like entrapment, because say they go to their bachelorette party, there's probably drinking and other stuff involved. People are gonna notice she's not drinking, I mean, assuming if she drinks normally, because she doesn't know what to say except like, I just don't feel like it. The bride will probably still be like, you're stealing the attention away from me, even though I put you in this position because I'm a selfish human being. Ugh. I can totally see that happening, and it makes me so sad and so angry. I was in a difficult place because the bride was threatening us for something that wasn't our fault. I agreed with the bridesmaid that I wouldn't say anything, but after the wedding she would need to tell the bride that we helped, not hindered the situation. Please, we don't want to be sued. She was super grateful and I managed to fix the dress for her, but she paid for it. Of course she did. Well, the bride thought we were covering it. Huh? You think of one minor inconvenience in a spot where this is normal, this is what fittings are? You expected the business to pay for it because it mildly inconvenienced you? You're hilarious. The bride did send in a thank you card after the wedding, so I guess it all worked out in the end for her. Oh, thank you. Imagine getting a thank you card from someone who made your life so difficult. You're just reading it like, thanks for leaving my life forever. Bruh, that's crazy. Not only for both the bride and the mother freaking out over a completely normal and standard, like, this is what happens during fittings. What did you expect? The bride being so unaccepting of her friend who had been trying for a while to get pregnant, gets pregnant and calls her some reason saying you're trying to steal my spotlight? Oh, why are people like this? Well, I got an answer for that. They need therapy. My wedding is coming up and I'm planning it all out. My best friend has been so excited to help me plan everything and has even offered to help me pay for some things. That's really nice, which is really sweet because neither me or my fiance's families are really helping. Because of her excitement and everything else, I don't have the heart to tell her I don't want her as my bridesmaid. Why? She's your best friend and she's helping you so much. Or even come up with a reason that doesn't hurt her feelings. The dress I want wouldn't look good on her body type. They're sleeveless and she has bigger arms with stretch marks and doesn't really have a figure? And this is your best friend? The audacity. She's always been awkwardly shaped. Even looking at our prom pictures, she ruined some of the photos. We would all look really nice and she just didn't look as good as us. Again! This is your best friend? How could you say something like this about your best friend? I bet she's beautiful. She is so fake, oh my gosh. Anyone who says people ruin their photos because they look a different aesthetic or they don't look as good as them are the worst kind of people. That is so shallow and so just... wow. I'm trying to figure out a way to tell her she can't be a bridesmaid, but I don't know what to say that she doesn't take it offensive. This wench is unbelievable. Or if I should, like, make up a position for her that day. Oh, what? A caterer? So that when it's time for photos, at least I can separately do them. Oh my gosh. Oh, I cannot believe someone would actually say this about their best friend. Their best friend. She probably just has her around to make her look better in comparison. I dreamed of this day since I was a little girl. Don't tell me I am being shallow.
You serious?
My wedding should be perfection, right down to the bridesmaids and groomsmen. We'll hire people that look just like you because that's exactly what you're asking for. I noticed some of you weddings aren't a big deal. Even as a kid, I used to try on my mom's wedding dress and picture the day I would get married. It's my day. And I shouldn't even have to give this much thought to someone else's feelings. You should not get married. This was the rudest thing I think I've read in a while. How can you say such awful things about your supposed best friend? I hate it when people are this shallow. They only care about being picture perfect, which is subjective anyway. You know what I think is picture perfect? Having people around me that love me, that are happy to be there. Seeing people's genuine smiles. Like, you know when people laugh and people take photos from that? Those are the best smiles you will ever see. Will those show up in her wedding photos? No. I don't know how people get so tied up in all of this perfection that they don't care about anything or anyone else. Reality check, my dude. It is not all about you. Do not get married. Go to therapy. I honestly can't imagine how these two are genuine friends. What an awful, toxic creature. They're not friends. They have never been friends. One is a friend who tries hard but is treated like crap. The other is a shallow, self-absorbed a-hole who has used her friend to stand on her whole life to make little miss look at me feel better for being prettier than her friend. OP is a lifelong bully, and the kindest thing she could do is tell this woman the truth so that she can find a friend with a heart, as this person does not have one. And if she does, it's made of a rock who has never seen sunlight. It's fine for a friend to pay for the wedding, but heaven forbid she has any part in it. My logic is amazing. While working for a big brand, we had a customer care team who were the most amazingly patient people I've ever met, rarely batted an eyelid. One day, a giggling customer came into us. Oh no, she's coming. After having what they described as the phone call of the year, and you can imagine how many ridiculous questions they have daily. Important for context is that we produced a few brands under our company with designer names, but they are just made up names that suit the style of the line. For this, I'm going to say that one of the lines was Sophie Seymour. The phone call went like this. Customer, hi, I was in your X store today and I really like the X style dress, but I need it in a size 24. Care. Okay, I'll just do a search to see if we have that in our network. I'm sorry, but it looks like that style only goes up to a size 20. Could you tell me what you liked about it and I can see if I can suggest some alternatives? Customer, no, I need that dress. And actually, I know Sophie Seymour. Oh, do you? Do you have regular tea time with her and your stuffed bear, Mr. Snuggles? She said she'll make me my dress specially for my size. So how long do you think it will be until you can get that into store? My wedding is in a year. This is going to be wonderful. Care, okay, I'm sorry, we don't do customer orders, but I'd be happy to help you find another alternative. She's like saying this as she's trying so hard not to laugh, I'm sure. We have a whole new plus size range. Customer, no, you don't understand. Sophie is a family friend. I'm telling you, I have tea with her every week. And if you don't do this, I'm going to call her and she'll just do it for me and your company won't get the sale. So what's the timeline? I also want more beading, and Sophie said that I could use her staff discount too. Wait, so she has a line there and she works at the store? Sophie is a busy lady. She's really trying. I'll give her that. This continued for a while. We were seriously considering calling her back as Sophie Seymour. Hello, wench. You said you know me? Oh, and she called back and spoke to other care reps and told them the same thing, as well as trying it in a store. Unsurprisingly, she never got the dress from us. Wow, who'd have thought? And all of the staff were too polite to tell her that Sophie Seymour was a made-up person. Oh, you should have. It would have been so funny. It would have become that situation where you call your crush but then hang up immediately because she'll go, she's real.
I know the real Sophie.
I'm a commercial, not wedding, photographer. Best friend since first grade asked me to photograph his twin sister's wedding because they don't have the budget for a pro that does weddings. I figure out my costs and tell them I'll do it for a break-even fee of $400. That's so cheap. About a fourth of what they'd pay otherwise, and they agree. Yeah, that is a steal. Supposed to pay me on the day. Things are going down, she's panicking, doesn't have checkbook but promises to pay cash later. Okay, it already smells wenchy. Follow them around from 9:30 a.m. to 1 a.m. Oh, that's a long day. That's too long. Hearing from both the bride and groom that they got enough cash as gifts and they'd settle up right away. Never happens. They'll email transfer me. Okay. What does email transfer mean? It's the Nigerian prince scam. I need you to pay me to unlock the cash gifts from the envelopes so I can pay you later. I'm your long lost aunt. A week later, I'm about 10 hours into what would become 30 hours of editing. 250 final photos and still no money. You're editing with no money? Oh, you poor soul. Bills for my expenses coming due. Text them, no reply. Had to ask my friend, find out they took off a month-long honeymoon in Europe. Of course they just scammed them. Their dad finally called and paid me instead. Probably saying, I am so sorry, I don't know what's wrong with them. And I mailed them the photos. They all went on her Facebook. She seemed happy, friends and family seemed happy. Not a word of thanks. Thanks for scamming me and then not even saying thank you. 6 months later, she starts getting my buddy to ask me for all the photos I took. Almost 1,400 to do her own editing. 6 months after you got the edited photos? What? Which most professionals, including myself, would never allow, and I say as much and ask why it never came up before. Yeah. Over 6 months ago, when I was doing the work which you didn't even pay me for. She starts putting crappy Instagram filters on the final photos and posting them with passive-aggressive comments about how the photographer won't come through, so she had to improve what she got. Oh my giddy aunt! Unbelievable. She legitimately scams this poor photographer, then blasts them on social media for not coming through for her when they still ended up doing all the work and getting paid later. Ooh, I'm gonna fight someone. Buddy and I have a more strained relationship because I had to put my foot down. I don't shoot weddings or offer friend discounts anymore with no exceptions. Good for you, you deserve way better. Well, that is this week's installment of incredibly entitled, tone-deaf, selfish people that I have ever seen in my entire life.